and your dear wife, Radha Sundari, and Bala Gopinath on the drum. What a trio, huh? Let's give them another big round of applause. I always wonder, how can you get a round of applause in a square room? I can't figure these things out. It's one of those things I should have tried to figure out when I was younger, I guess. So, I was thinking, I gave a class similar to this about a year or so ago, and some people said, well, that made a lot of sense. It's a good way to look at spiritual life, spiritual commitment, things like that. So we live in a day when we're bombarded by offers. You notice that? I mean, when it comes time for your car insurance to renew, I don't know about you, but I get like 1,000 emails. Click here and get the cheapest rate in Arizona. Click here and do this. Credit card offers. You're just bombarded by offers. And so, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's difficult for me to figure out, what should I do here? Which offer is best? So, we go through a process of thinking that if I accept this offer versus this offer, what is the gain here and what is the potential loss here? Nitya Naranjan and I talked about this. We had about 5 months to talk about different things while we were in Mayapur. Let's give him a round of applause. He passed Bhakti Shastri. And that's not a cheap thing. He worked hard and he did it. Has anybody ever heard this term opportunity cost? Huh? Some of you probably in business, they talk about it a lot. Opportunity cost, I'll read a little bit. Opportunity cost is a fundamental economic principle that refers to the value of the next best alternative that you give up when you make a decision. In other words, I've got two alternatives, and I've got to figure out, what does this one give me? What does this one give me? What do I lose if I take this one over this one? What are the penalties? What's the potential loss, the potential gain? This is just common sense. We all do this all the time. In simpler terms, every time you choose one option over another, you are effectively sacrificing the benefits you would have gained from the option you didn't choose. This concept helps individuals and businesses make informed decisions by considering what they are giving up versus what they are gaining. So, in essence, opportunity cost is about recognizing that every choice has a trade-off. So, but once in a while we get that offer that we just can't refuse. You ever notice that? You get an offer and you think, wow, study everything about it. And then sometimes people say, well, let me sleep on it. This sounds like a really good deal, but let me sleep on it. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. So you sleep on it and you consider it and you get up and you look at it again and you think, how can I pass this up? This is a deal. I'm not passing this up. I'm going to do it. I can't see any loss. There's nothing but gain. So how many choices do we have where there is absolutely no loss, nothing but gain? Huh? Not often. But not often. And there's always, as they say, strings attached. Do they still use that term, or I'm showing my age again? Yeah, so you give up this to get that, and you give up this to get that. So, but Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is the supreme everything. He's the supreme. And so he can really make you a deal. Krishna could really write a book, The Art of the Deal. He makes the best deals. And you can take it to the bank because he owns the bank. He is the bank. He's the supreme bank. So Krishna makes you a deal. Boy, that's the best offer you can get. Everything is fallible in the material world. Even banks, they say, well, we'll get bailed out if we go under, but that's not a guarantee. It might be likely, but Krishna can give you a guarantee, positive guarantee. So Krishna makes us this proverbial offer that you can't refuse. You just can't walk away from this deal. So in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, there's 2 verses I'm going to read. Actually, there's 3. Krishna says, 6th chapter, 27, verse 27, verse 28. Krishna says, the yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds. Well, I'm going to pause there. Krishna says a mouthful. In just a couple of sentences, he says volumes. This is the deal. He's laying the deal out here. So what are we going to get? What's he promising? All right, the yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. Well, that's a pretty good offer, isn't it? I mean, we all want the highest level of happiness. And if it's transcendental happiness, that means not only are we materially satisfied, we're spiritually satisfied. Spiritually happy. Transcendental things are eternal. There's no expiration date. So, sometimes you see something in the refrigerator and you think, oh, I haven't had this in a while. I've got a taste for it. And you take it out and you look and there's like green hair all inside the jar. And you think, oh, what's the expiration date? Oh, 2 years ago. So things in the material world have a duration. They expire. You cannot keep it forever. So transcendental things, on the other hand, are transcendental or far above the limitations of material things, material stuff. There is no expiration date. It's forever. So Krishna is giving you an offer here. I'll give you, if you fix your mind on me. Now here's a string that he's got attached that he's not telling you here, but I kind of know him a little bit, and I'll tell you. He wants you to fix his mind on me, but really what he's not telling you is he wants you to keep your mind on him, okay? I'm just tipping you off. He's going to want, but once you fix your mind on him, he's very good at keeping your attention. He's very good at that. So you get the perfection of transcendental happiness. And this yogi is beyond the mode of passion, which means you never have one of those moments where you're like, oh, I better hurry. Oh my God, what's happening? We're bombing Iran. What's that going to do to me? You stay out of this mode of passion, worry. You're no longer desiring for something you just can't get. You're no longer hankering for something you don't have, nor lamenting for those things that you can't get. Well, he's stacking a pretty good deal here so far, wouldn't you say? I don't know about you, but I'm reaching for my credit card. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme. Well, now that's a pretty heavy feature he's selling here. You realize your qualitative identity with the Supreme. What is my identity with the Supreme? What is the Supreme? Why, there's all kinds of theories, from the universe. What is my relationship with the universe? Is it supreme? Well, no, it had a creator. I mean, you can go on and on and on. And Krishna says, if you fix your mind on me, and keep it there, you'll realize your qualitative relationship with the Supreme. Now that is huge. That is really a heck of a bargain. Sounding pretty interesting, isn't it? So Krishna's stacking it up. And if that's not enough, there's more. Like, wait, there's more. What a marketer Krishna is, huh? And thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds. Whoa. You mean all of my bad karma is like wiped away? Well, this is pretty good. I'm wondering, where do I sign? This is a really good offer. How much is this going to cost? Whenever somebody's trying to sell you something and there's all these features and you're thinking, well, that's good. Oh, and it has that too? Oh, this is great. Hey, wait a minute. What's this going to cost? Get to the bottom line here. Yeah, but it also has, no, tell me. You've stacked it up. I want to know how much this is going to cost me because it's sounding kind of too good to be true. And my mother told me that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So, did your mother tell you that? Yeah, figures. You're a smart lady. So, all your bad karma is wiped clean. Let's run through that again real quick. Attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. You're beyond the mode of passion. You realize your qualitative identity with the Supreme, and you're freed from all reactions to past deeds. But wait, there's more. Krishna goes on in the next verse. Thus, the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord. There's a catch. He wants me to be his loving servant. Whoa, I knew this wasn't going to be cheap, right? Sounded pretty good. So that's the price. I want you to be my loving associate. And not just for 90, 60, 180 days, forever. I want you, and I want you forever. Now, you'll get, if you give yourself to me, I'll give myself to you forever. Now, good deal, huh? This is a heck of a deal. So we're going to be loving associates. We're going to be loving friends. Krishna is already performing loving devotional service to you, and he always has. Anything and everything, if you believe that God is the source of everything. I believe that. Who believes that God is the source of everything, Yeah, so if he's the source of everything, he has everything. And he's offering to give it to you. He has it. Right? Not only does he have it, he has a lot of it, unlimited, everything. And if it doesn't exist, all he has to do is think, and it's there. And it's yours. If he has it, it's yours. Just name it, whatever you need. If you're my loving associate, you just name what you need. So what do you want, Krishna? I want you to love me. And I want you to demonstrate it. That's okay. If you tell somebody, gee whiz, I love you, they may not say the words, but they may think it, at least subconsciously, show me. I heard it and it sounded great, but the demonstration of your love and affection is far sweeter than the words, I love you. You see? As a matter of fact, the more love is demonstrated, the less it has to be said. If you demonstrate your love for someone, anyone, your partner, your children, whoever, you don't have to go around saying, I love you all the time. Right, that's understood from our direct loving relationship. You see? So, Krishna wants you to demonstrate it, and that's not a lot to ask. Be my servant. You see? So, I'm going to read one more verse here. Krishna goes on in the second chapter, verse 40, in this endeavor there is no loss nor diminution. And a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So in other words, there is no opportunity cost. What am I giving up to become Krishna's loving servant? I'm giving up my material consciousness. And along with that goes the material suffering that we endure because we're in these bodies. Having a material body means suffering. It just does. I'm not trying to sound, like a sad puppy or anything. It just is. You'll realize that the older you get, like what's going to be, what's going to hurt today. So having a material body is suffering. And so Krishna wants you to give that suffering up. You get rid of this material consciousness, meaning I am this body to begin with, and I'll give you this transcendental happiness that has no expiration date. So that sounds like one of those offers that's just too darn good to pass up. And Krishna says there's no loss. You'll never. And what if you say, yeah, but what if I can't become a perfect yogi in this lifetime? Krishna says that's okay. Whatever you invest, you get to keep. You get to keep it forever. So whatever progress that you make along the path, of course, Krishna is going to help you every step of the way. If you want him, he wants to make that deal with you. You give me you, I'll give you me. He wants to do that. And so if you fail, the chances that you will fail if you're sincere are very, very slim. You see, sometimes I see people that they surrender to Krishna and they become very nice devotees of Krishna, but then they run into a snag, and somehow or other the material energy grabs them back. And then you see them a few years later, and they're pretty much the same person. They haven't lost anything. They just didn't go back to being a materialist. They may do things that may appear like they're attracted by the material energy. Why they get back into some sort of the material styles and the material trends of the material world. But that's just a temporary thing. They come back, and when they come back, they're stronger than ever. Have you noticed? Yeah. I mean, we've seen this for a long time, haven't we? This ain't our first rodeo, as they say in Texas. I guess they say it in Arizona too, don't they? Well, sure they do. I just said it. Wow, they say it in Arizona too. Who needs Texas anyway? We got Arizona. So I'd like to pause here and inquire, are there any questions or comments towards this deal that Krishna has on the table? What do you say? Is it sounding good enough you want to sign on the dotted line?
I'll sign now.
Huh?
I'll sign right now.
Sign now. Anybody have any questions or comments?
You can sign me up outside.
Yeah, we'll have a table outside. You can sign up. Yeah, and you have to sign in blood. Yeah.
What would be the reasons for why someone wouldn't sign that deal? Why would someone not go through with it?
I'm too wrapped up in myself. This Krishna sounds like a good deal. He sounds like a fabulous guy. I mean, this whole thing of eternal love really sounds good. And I'm starting to really have some faith that this Krishna will deliver. But I still have faith in the material energy. So we enter into a period of mixed faith. I have faith in God. I have faith in Krishna. I have faith in the Bhagavad Gita. I have faith in this whole thing. Boy, this is great. This kirtan, boy, knockout. I love it. I still have some faith in the material energy. I still think that maybe, could be, if I work hard and if I get real smart and I get kind of lucky, I'll squeeze some enjoyment out of this material energy. It's like being out in the desert and you're are thirsty, you don't have any water with you, but there's a rock there. And so you think, maybe if I squeeze this rock real hard, I'll get a little bit of water, just maybe enough to wet my tongue. So you squeeze it. I have faith that there's water in this rock. I just know it. So you're still having faith in the rock. All these rocks, this whole material cosmos is just rocks. You know, there's only 5 elements here: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And I have faith in that. I think there's some enjoyment. So I can't make my move today. Thank you for the offer. But I'll keep it in mind. And maybe I'll take one step. Well, then when you take one step, Krishna, he takes 10. You know, he's eager. He's ready to throw down. He wants this relationship to go forward 100 miles an hour. He wants you in his embrace. Really bad. But you've got free will. You can say no. Nay. Yet. I'm learning no in different languages. So you can say no. So that gives you a little bit of power over Krishna now, doesn't it? Because he gave you free will. He will not force you. He doesn't force love. You got to go offer it to him. You don't want to force love. Nobody that wants to have a lover wants to force them. That just takes all the taste out of it. I mean, unless you're crazy. I mean, there are crazy people but that's another subject. Typically, an intelligent person in search of love wants it to come voluntarily. Someone to say, well, you're so attractive. I'm falling in love with you. You're sweeping me off my feet. Krishna will do that, but you kind of have to give him a chance. You see, if you get close enough, you're finished. You take another step towards him, he takes 100 towards you. Whoa, you know, this is getting serious here. So, but we don't do it because I still think that I have some faith in the material energy, and I haven't understood enough about Krishna. So there's unknown there, and so I'm afraid of the unknown, and I still think that the material energy might deliver some enjoyment. So I'm gonna keep the deal on the table, but not today. That's okay. Of course, you know, we have this this nasty thing of called time that just keeps going and going and going and going. So Krishna's deal is going to stay on the table for eternity, whenever you go for it. But we run out of time. Krishna says, time I am, destroyer of worlds. Well, if he's destroying worlds, your body is part of the world, you know, earth, water, fire, air, that's all you are. Our bodies are disintegrating as we're sitting here. We are running out of time. It's like there's this hourglass that's draining. We're constantly, so we may run out of time. So, and then what's next? We don't know. What is it Prabhupada says? Destination unknown. You don't know where. Can you count on having a human body next birth? Huh? How many here think you can have? I know I'm going to have a human body next birth. Pretty rare. Some people can feel confident, you know, because of the devotional service they've performed and the chanting they've done, by the food they eat, prasadam, you know, and they do that all day, every day for decades. Well, yeah, you can feel like, yeah, I know if I don't make it home, I'll have a human body. But if you're going to have a human body, how do you know what kind of family you're going to be born into? You know, we don't know. This is all unknown. So that's a big unknown to be afraid of. What is my destiny? What's the destiny of this soul? If I don't clinch this deal, if I don't grab this deal right now, what is my destiny if I pass it up? And what do I have to lose? Nothing. Krishna says you lose nothing. Why? If you try it out, if you drive it around the block, kick the tires, and decide you don't want it, why, Maya's going to be standing there saying, come on, baby, come here. You wanted me, now don't you? You knew this. You're never going to leave me. Come over here. Why, I'll promise you everything. I'll give you so many things to work so hard to get. And I'm not going to deliver you anything. But you're not smart enough to turn me down and take Krishna. You're going to think, all right, maybe for me, Maya will work. So, all right. Thank you all so much for coming. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.